go doctor will come in, right? And they tell you that, no, but what about protein, what about B12? I'm like, dude, just look at my blood test results. Like, it's 100 out of 100. So when you're sitting there with diabetes talking to me about health, I think it's not, you know. So I think the proof is in the pudding when it comes to veganism. It's one of the best choices someone can make for their health. It's one of the best choices Monica pointed out, 73% less carbon footprint than someone who consumes meat and dairy. So from an environmental perspective, an ethical perspective, obviously, I mean, we're killing 80 billion animals per year, land animals, plus the trillions of animals that are dying in the ocean. So something has to change, and I think that change starts with everyone's plates.
Thank you so much, Amy, for sharing how your journey started. Palak Mehta, would you like to share how your journey started?
Yes, definitely. So, incidentally, in my case, I ended up attending a Reiki session when I was just in college, right? And at that time, I realized that they were talking about the aura of foods. They were talking about living foods. And for me, in the beginning, it was very scientific. They said that, hey, if this is a food which has seen sunlight, and if this is a fruit which has prana or energy, then this gives you energy in your body. But when you eat dead meat or dead flesh, it depletes energy just to digest that food. Somehow psychologically I connected to that, theory. And I still did not question where do I get my food from. But I realized that, eating living foods is so important. And that's when I had to quit non-veg, because I'm a Punjabi, I've eaten everything that's walked, flown, things like that. But
Very consumption in Punjabi is quite a kilo. Paneer is like quite a kilo consumed is not easy. So I get what you're saying.
yeah, you feel isolated, right? If you're like, I'm a Punjabi, but I don't eat meat or I don't eat dairy. Yeah. So that's when I actually quit non-veg, and I didn't even know, like Amy rightly said, I didn't know I had a choice, right? Because in school you're just given food, you just have to eat it. So in grade 10, my friend took a chalia and she had quit meat. And I was like, she said, no, you have to quit non-veg. And I was like, what, you can do that? Like, are we allowed to do that? And that's when I had quit non-veg, and also because of the energy system. But I still did not make the connection with dairy. I thought it's unhealthy, you're not supposed to eat it. But it was when my guru Mohanji, he started sharing these videos of where your milk comes from. And I saw, baby calves like crying for the mother's milk. Mothers, taking out the milk, but still the cow is not being able to give it, consume it. I just felt it was not just unethical, it was torture. And that, you can unsee what you see. Once you put a face to your food, it's very difficult to go back from there, right? So even though I didn't overnight say, oh, let me just quit everything, but now it was way to stop those impressions, right? And that's when I started going on my vegan journey. It was 10 years ago, so there was just soya milk available in India at that time. It was stuck, Monica knows it. And it's been a journey since then.
I think that's a very important thing you said, which is once you put a face to the food, then it's very difficult going back. And I think that's true for a lot of people in this room. I'll move on to Chef Ravina Kaurani to know about her journey. So I'll keep it quick. I basically had a severe spinal injury. I subluxated my SI joint, which is right, the joint right before your tailbone. And I was on bed rest for many months. And it was during the bed rest that I started developing a stronger intolerance to lactose. And I think I was always vegetarian, so when I started developing this lactose intolerance, it was honestly a shock for me because I grew up eating so much dairy. So it just came to a point that I could not digest it anymore. Dairy in general digests better if you're mobile, and here I was just on bed rest for many months. So I kept getting sick, and it's just an article I read online that if you keep having these bouts of stomach infection, try giving up dairy. So I just tried, and I was fine in like 3 days. After almost 2 months of not knowing what's going on with me health-wise, I became fine in 3 days. And from there, then started my journey of like discovering more about plant-based food. I started doing yoga to heal my spine. I moved to Goa for 7 weeks. I was doing yoga and eating only plant-based, and I'd never felt better. And I think from that point, I just decided that I want to learn more. I never thought I would make a business out of it or get into hospitality or anything like that. It just started, I want to learn how to feed myself again. And I think till date, what interests me is the food aspect of it. I love learning newer ways to make food without dairy. I think that's remarkable, really. I move on to our co-founder, Mr. Pradeep Krishna Kumar, to share his journey of veganism.
I think both Tisha and we both are founders of Zouk. We both are vegetarians. When we started Zouk, we knew what we wanted to do roughly, but we had no background from bags, no background from manufacturing, never built a brand, none of these. We were just passionate about building something. And as engineers, we looked at what are the different materials that goes into making a bag. Realized that animal-based material is a key component that many countries pride on. We saw some very horrific videos of how they make. And he said, this is not what we want to do, and we don't want to put our lives to. And that's how it started. We've come a long way from back to those days. We didn't have a wonderful time, right? So Disha used to put half decent content. I have to say that on mic, so half decent content on social media, and we had all these kinds of comments like "bag mein vegan kya hota hai? Bag mein bhi vegan aa raha hai? Veganism ye ho hai." We cut to change now. I think about 60% of our customer reviews actually people say that the bags are vegan, and we are seeing more and more brands. So it's not just about this, but more and more brands talking about it. And again, we were discussing so many large brands, legacy brands that we looked up to, probably born much before we were born. Adopting veganism and kudos to PETA and everybody here and everybody who sort of made it either the brand's choice to do it or the consumer asking. And that's what has led to all of this. And I think I must add, and the team is here. We do a few events, right? But when it comes to an event around this, last year both Disha and we couldn't make it. We had a medical emergency, we couldn't make it. Almost everybody who attended pinged us saying the event was great, and this time I think we're taking the notch up because there is a mission behind what we do, and that reflects here. So no amount of we having to tell the team here Sunday hai unke hours is not needed for missions like these. Right? So we've come a long way in that, and I think that's been our journey of building a vegan brand now.
I just want to say I remember you at Chennai Vegan Fest like 6 years ago, where Zouk was just 2-3 people, and you've just grown immensely. So a beautiful journey and making the vegan movement proud of them.
Thank you. And given a digital first brand, I think that's why when we wanted to do something meaningful, right? And that's when we said this year we're going to take a mission of saying 100K vegan creators is what we want to create. Because you see today's India actually follows all of you, right? All of you here is what today's India follows. And if you can influence directly, indirectly, whichever way, right, small or big, we will see a change. And while I agree with a lot of what you all said in terms of food, it becomes hard, but when it comes to a lot of lifestyle choices, it's even more easier. And today, in fact, very frankly, Balsa's food also is outstanding for being vegan, right? So I think we've come a long way, and it's just the start, and that's what we like to do.
So taking from what you said, how can we make more meaningful collaborations between influencers and vegan brands, organizations and other influencers in amplifying the reach of vegan advocacy to shape the next 100,000 vegan creators? How do you think we can make more meaningful collaborations? If anybody would like to start.
I think if you want to have more meaningful collaborations, first and foremost, identify like what are you collaborating for. Whether you're giving a voice, to a certain brand with a certain aesthetic, or you're a creator, and you've been approached by, for example, even a Zouk. I think more than anything, if it's a collaboration, I think it's important to set the terms clearly, like what exactly do you want the brand to say. In terms of influencing and growing the vegan creator space, I would like to say that I think constantly also using the word vegan at times becomes isolating, because people then, it becomes too much of a statement made politically. So a lot of the time you get trolled, you get singled out and all of that. So maybe just having more inclusive words, like at the cafe we try and say more plant-based, for example, versus only saying vegan all the time. So I feel like that kind of works in the concept of food. Maybe for lifestyle, when it comes to bags, it's great to say that you have vegan leather. So including words along with vegan that could be more inclusive, so people are more prone to like, yes, I want to see this content, I want to learn more. And maybe giving more scientific data that why are we saying what we're saying? Like what is the fact behind this, but presenting it in a fun and interesting way. Like if you are going to put out too many videos with too many gory details, I'm not sure that people would see it through. The engagement would drop. So I think you would have more engagement if you put out your content while saying what you want to say in a fun and interesting way. That's my take on it. Amy, your take?
I want to add to that saying the word vegan is actually quite isolating a lot of the time, non-vegans especially. And when it comes to like personal branding, when it comes to messaging, I think using careful wording around plant-based, around kindness, compassion, instead of using, because you have to put yourself in the feet of the non-vegan. Someone who's a heavy meter, like for us we understand it because we are already there. But people who are not there, how do you relay a message without it coming across and then putting a defensive mechanisms up, right? Because the moment you hear the word vegan or you hear someone telling them that they're wrong or telling them that this is bad and whatever, immediately someone's wall goes up. So it's very important to think about, I'm talking from a creator's perspective but also a brand's perspective. When you're creating content, it has to be from the perspective of the consumer. What do you want them to take away from this? Are they going to be receptive?
Yes.
And I think that's where sometimes I find creators can come across, as they say, crazy vegans and medicine vegans, that does come across that way. So I think it is pertinent to be mindful. And also events like this I think are great for expanding the community and getting people to consider the ways of doing things, building their networks. And I see so many more events happening now in India and around the world, helping brands, helping creators to expand their network and reach. So,
Yes, we all had an event. Yeah, we have Ahana Kumra who's here as well, who's come to the event. So I think when all of this happens across creators, brands, and then consumers ask for it, and then it's a cycle that keeps building. That's what we've seen work out well. And I think just one more thing around saying that if we have 100 people here, if each one can nudge 10 more people to become vegan creators in whichever form, like 10% or 100%, you can make that choice. And slowly, I think as one influences 10 people, so on and so forth, I think we'll get there for sure, right? And we'll keep doing these events and many others keep doing this. And we have a lot of PETA certified, PETA approved vegan brands who are also doing this. So I think we'll get there, pretty confident on that.
I was going to say, actually, I don't think it's as easy as, me telling 10 more people to now become a vegan creator. And I'm really sorry to disagree with you. Just let's go by the ratio of this room, right? How many are plant-based or vegan creators? You have a mixed group, some are in fashion, some are in lifestyle, some are in food, but everybody's a mixed group and not many in percentage are high on the vegan content creator.
Actually going and telling somebody to become a content creator, but what will happen
Yeah.
is you will be an influencer anyway.
Correct,
But
yeah.
that your attention is that they shared it, and the vegan movement is picking up, everybody will just naturally be drawn to it. And that will happen, I think, over the years.
Yeah.
The vegan movement, 11 years ago, 9 years ago, to now, there is an exponential growth. I mean, it's unimaginable. I could never imagine it. I could never imagine an event like this.
We're running a little short on time, so just
I just add one thing.
Yes, please.
That I feel like influencers and celebrities, being popular comes with a little responsibility also. And I feel like each one can, one is PETA India invites every influencer on the celebrity or worked with us. We do a lot of investigation work. Amy has worked with us. We went for an investigation together to egg and dairy farms. And we actually shot videos live footage over there when it's undercover. It was very interesting, and that kind of footage to show the world is completely different way of actually spreading messages. So of course we're more than willing to work with influencers, which we have worked with in the past also. We worked with Sonakshi Sinha, we worked with Charity Food, vegetarians, Sonakshi Sinha, we did an anti-terror ad with. So yeah, looking forward to connecting with all of you.
Thank you so much.
I just going to add one thing. See now, when it comes to we as Vegan First have actually built multiple brand assets, and it's exciting to see the consumer behavior when we call it vegan, as to when we create an event and we call it Yogisattva, and it's more towards sustainability. But here are my two cents. Understand who you are. As creators, your first and foremost responsibility is to be authentic, right? And that's the only reason brands today want to partner with creators, because of their authenticity. And I really respect the fact that you today said that you're vegetarian, because wherever you are on your journey, right? Say I'm a conscious consumer, I want to be vegan one day, but today I don't eat honey, right? So just not making it like a cult, but being who you are, right? That creates waves of change, and I think that is the power of content today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much, Palak, Monica, Ravina, Amy, Pradeep. Thank you so much. We have a very special guest of honor here today. We have noted and famous actress Ahana Kumra. Give a round of applause, please. Hi, so good to have you here. We have a house full of creators here today, Ahana, and we'd love for you to say a few words to them.
Hi everybody, good evening, good afternoon, whatever everybody is celebrating right now. But hi, I'm really happy to be here, and very glad to be amongst creators. I think this is a place where I guess Disha, who's the founder, who I just met recently, I was just telling her that I've been following Zouk as a brand, I think for the last 3 years, because I have been seeing their products, I've been seeing the kind of bags, the kind of now shoes that you guys are making. I'm wearing your shoes. But it's beautiful because I feel like anything homegrown. I travel a lot, and that happens a lot because of shoot and because of work. And then when I go to a place like Uzbekistan, when I see Samarkand, or when I go to like Russia, if I go anywhere, any part of the world, and I see how beautifully those people have managed to build their homegrown brands. And this whole thing about Make in India is so big right now. So I'm very happy that there is a brand like Zouk, because, and I'm not joking, I travel a lot by local, like a train or in a bus, because I love traveling like everybody else, because that's how I traveled to college. I traveled by local train to college all my life. So even now when I get an opportunity, if I'm running late, I just jump into a train, I jump into a bus, and that's how I travel. I see a lot of women carrying Zouk bags. And I'm not joking, because I'm not somebody who's like getting into a car and going everywhere. I love going by foot, I love seeing the city by foot. I like meeting people, I like having my tabri ki chai. I like meeting people in general, because I think that's where I get my characters. But I'm loving the fact that there is a homegrown brand, there is something that a lot of women, and I think today's women, today's confident young Indian women are going to offices, they're going to colleges, they're going to meet friends, and they're carrying this beautiful jute bag. And that's so beautifully made, and I absolutely love it. So I'm a fan of Zouk. And I'm not saying that just because I'm here at an event. I absolutely love the brand, and I love anything which is made in India. And I'm always going to be proud of everything that you guys are doing.